Very good evening.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hello and good evening and very warm welcome to this very special Poets Without Borders surprise and sudden poetry meet evening when the Nobel laureate has been announced. And I think that I was again taken by surprise. But such a pleasant surprise. So congratulations to Dr. Abdul Razak, and we are going to celebrate this today with poetry. All genres of literature are great. Nothing to say about that, but it's just that I was so excited. I don't know why this time. I guess that everybody was. So I don't watch sports. I don't watch those big matches that everybody watches, but still. So I think I am going to call upon Tiziana ma'am. She's joining us from Italy to read first. A prolific writer, a gifted, talented poetess, editor of a magazine, and translator. So over to you, ma'am.
It's up to me? No.
Yes.
No. I'm ashamed to be the beginners. You saw
Oh,
I
come
tried
on.
to put the logo of the magazine behind me, but it's difficult.
It's
Maybe
looking
late.
fantastic. It's looking fantastic, and the magazine is also fantastic. I even read it.
And of course, I invite all of you that are linked to collaborate with this magazine. You can visit the website www.formafluence.net. I write in the chat to be sure. Uh, mm, but Pankhuri, you asked me to be the first? No.
Yes, yes.
Oh
Unless you
yes.
want to, yeah.
No, I prefer not to be the first. I'm ashamed.
Okay, all right. I am going to ask a great poet from Wales, England, Dominic Williams, to go first tonight. Uh, it's his country that is part of the prize tonight. So
Thank you, Pankhuri. And yes, please remember that Wales is very close to England, but it's not in England. They're two separate countries. So thank you for inviting me to this surprise party. It's a lovely point for me. It's a good part of the afternoon. I know lots of people are in work. I'm still in work, and I've had a busy afternoon. I feel quite exhausted, really, but I've been writing letters and emails, and I'm really pleased just to leave work for a little while and come in and visit all my poetic friends in Poets Without Borders, and share some poetry in celebration of the Tasmanian Nobel Prize for Literature. So I'm going to read a poem. I'm going to read a poem from this little volume. Hold the Line was a volume of poetry, myself and two other poets who during the lockdown were part of a befriending by phone project. So we were ringing older people who were isolated, who were shielding and couldn't get out. And we were just ringing them for chat, just spending an hour on the phone, just being a friend, because they didn't get to see anybody while they were locked away. But as part of the project, we decided to write some poems to try and capture the voices of these older people who were becoming marginalized from society. And I was working, talking to a man called Tony, who was a farmer when he was a young boy. He worked on farms. So this is a poem that I wrote about him as a young man. And it's about the valley in which I still live. The River Towie flows through the valley where I live and where Tony used to work. Very sadly, Tony died before the end of the pandemic. So he never got to read the poems. But I'll read this in his honor. So it's called The Towie and I. The Towie feeds the earth, spitting and spurting from mountain clefts, rising and falling between Glanaferry and Llanstefan, slaking the thirst of farmland. Llyn Brian to Llandailo, Felin went of Llanabry, grinding corn to flour. 1950, 100 years later, a boy still half a year from manhood at a corn mill, at the white mill, assembling timber to move from field to field above the swell of the Gwili, a young man treading the valley floor through 5 farms and a lifetime, building bridges to ensure connection when the flood comes, kicking gin traps behind a cardigan, cast iron water wheel, chasing rats with his ferrets, swimming and fishing in the Tawi, family like salmon moving east, fighting upstream to Llandailo, to teach and to spawn, traveling to Lichfield, making money selling Carnarvon slate. Never had a row with anybody, and never understood how a man could be cruel to cattle, how a man could be cruel to a woman. So that was for Tony. And of course, in celebration of our new Nobel Prize winner. Thank you, Pankhuri.
Beautiful. What a beautiful, powerful, touching poem. We could never understand how a man could be cruel to animals. I feel very strongly about it. I have had, am I audible? First of all, I should ask that because generally my signal is not so strong. Am I audible okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Dominic? Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I was
fine.
just saying what beautiful, yeah. Okay. I was just saying what a beautiful, touching, powerful poem. You know, I loved the description of the farm and of course this entire farm life and the references to animals. I myself want to just very quickly share something. I've had quite a reunion day with one of my pups. Remember, Dominic, I was talking about 4 of my pups gone missing. So I found one today. I've been able to rescue just one. What a beautiful feeling it is. So I really relate to that almost farm-like feeling of bonding with animals. Okay, and I think if Tiziana ma'am doesn't still want to go, then I think I am going to call upon Dr. Angelo Rizzi, who's joining us from Tunisia, from the top part of Africa, and he's a professor of Italian there. And he writes in Italian, so we are going to listen to some beautiful poem, right?
You're still muted, Angelo.
Okay, thank you. Pankhuri, I read directly in English or I can read in Italian?
Please read in Italian as well.
And after I propose translation English. My poem is Trust, la fiducia. La fiducia. L'inquilino del primo piano si avvicinò dicendo: non esiste più la filosofia, non esiste più il vero filosofo. Intendevo un Socrate che mutasse il pensiero e lo spirito alle genti, dando un senso ai valori e un valore ai sensi. Mi salutò e partì per cercare un luogo dove meditare. Lo trovò dove la resina del cipresso blu si mischiava in perfetta alchimia all'aria della notturna bruma marina. Al suo ritorno si avvicinò dicendo: non esiste più l'amicizia, non esiste più nella decadenza di quest'epoca. E di nuovo prese ad esempio Socrate. A mia volta dissi serenamente: si dovrà aspettare, ci vorrà del tempo, però ho fiducia nella nuova era. Now a translation in English. Trust. The first floor tenant come close to me saying, philosophy no longer exists. The true philosopher no longer exists. He meant someone like Socrates, who changed foes and people's spirit, giving a meaning to values and a value to senses. He greeted me and left, looking for a place to meditate. He found it where the blue cypress resin mixed with the night sea mist in perfect alchemy. On his return, he came close to me saying, friendship no longer exists in this time of decadence. And again, he mentioned Socrates. Then, peacefully, I said, we must wait. It will take time, but I trust the new era. Thank you.
Thank you to you for that very deep philosophical poem about Socrates and who not. I mean, it was just wonderful. Thank you so very much. And now I'm going to call upon Mr. Rajendra Ojha from Nepal in our vicinity, from my neighborhood. He's someplace close by, right? So a very gifted poet again. Warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation. So, can I say first in Nepali and translate in English?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The title of my poem is Asal Mitrata, Novel Friend. So it goes like this. भावले चलेको मित्रता हर पल उत्तम रच्दै बन्छ जीवनमा त्यसैले अभाव र प्रभावको मित्रतालाई सञ्चालन नगरौँ यहाँ बन्धु मित्रताको मार्ग त बुद्धको एकमात्र जीवित पथ हो आज अभाव र प्रभावको राजनीति मुछेर यसमा भावको व्यापार नगरौँ आज So English translation goes like this. The title is Novel Friend and poem goes like this. Companion that flows in the river of emotion defeats the best chariot in life. Let us here execute the friendship that is free of any dirt and influence. O beloved ones, the path of friendship is the only way towards Buddha in today's. Involving the politics of scarcity and influence in it, let's not trade the emotion. Thank you.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful poem. And now I'm going to call upon our dear friend from Israel, Isaac Cohen, to treat us to his poem. And then I'm going to call upon Tiziana, ma'am. I hope that is okay. Warm welcome to everybody who's joining in, Paula, Finn Hall. Sir, warm welcome to you. And Isaac. Are you around? Isaac, can you hear me? I just got his message saying that he needs to, I think they're having some festival. He needs to visit his father in Israel. So, Isaac, are you around and can you hear me? Otherwise, you can go after Tiziana, ma'am. And I think, ma'am, do you want to go ahead? Because he did send this message. I also replied and he's nowhere to be found. So do you want to go ahead, ma'am?
Yes? Okay. No, I waited for Isaac, but he's not there in this moment, maybe. You can hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? Ah, okay. I needed to breathe a little bit because coming from work, so hearing other voices. I will read a couple of text from my new unpublished syllogy that I'm preparing. The title is empatire. That is a word that doesn't exist in Italian, because in English we have empathize, but in Italian we have to make a large wordy phrase for this meaning. So empathize scores for voices and breathing. And I'm preparing also with a friend of mine that is a singer, but she's not here today, so I'm not a singer, I just read. The first one is about ecological empathizing. Il creatore, il caso caos creante, provò a modellare un essere speciale con fango e soffio vitale. Ecco l'Homo sapiens vorace verso le altre specie, sadico verso la madre terra, inventore d'ogni diavoleria grazie al macrocefalo che doveva seguire un'anima grande. Solo pochi, segnati da un karma peculiare, riescono nell'upgrade all'essere umano compiuto, col dono di un'empatia essenziale, non compassione ipocrita verso le creaturine, ma sentire nel corpo la sega che fa a pezzi l'albero, nel cuore i proiettili di tutti i cacciatori, nel sangue l'aggrumarsi dei veleni scaricati in mare, nel respiro il soffocamento dei pesci e dei coralli. Sulla pelle la sferza bruciante dei roghi, nell'anima la domanda dolente d'ogni creatura, a noi macrocefali vanagloriosi e vani. E questa, and this is another one. If I have some minute more, can I?
If you could tell us a little bit about, if you could tell us a little bit about the poem that you
that I read. It's very difficult to translate in English. I'm out of exercise, but it's about empathizing approach to ecological action, meaning not that we are the superior being, human being, and the other little creatures, the trees and the seas and the fish, but really feeling in the body, in the blood, in the breath, all the dolore, all the bad actions that nature and natural creatures has to suffer. This is the only way to really arrive to an ecological action that is not like hypocritical and like, come si dice, beneficenza, but really feeling in our body what we the suffering that we procure to the natural creatures. I was not so clear, I hope, but
no, but it is.
And this
really
is all my new volume, so my recale of poems is about this, about the empathical way that is really a philosophical way, because the empathy was examined also by a lot of philosophers, between them Maurice Merleau-Ponty, French philosopher, that spoke also about empathy and the body suffering, etc., and the illness and a lot of things very difficult to explain in English. But this is my new writing is about these things. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, very contemporary, very nice, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think now we are, thank you. And I think we are now going to call upon Isaac. Are you still here? Isaac Cohen, can you unmute yourself and please read your poem?
Yes, yes. Yes, thank you. How are you, my friends, and Pankhuri, and Kkumar, and Don Krieger, Dominic, and other friends. My poem, Isaac Cohen, Peace. How marvelous is the voice of peace. Even who doesn't hear can hear the voice of it. This is in English, and now is in Hebrew. יצחק כהן. כמה נפלא הוא כל השלום. אפילו מי שאינו שומע יכול לשמוע אותו. Thank you, Isaac Cohen, Israel. This is my new poem, and I love it, and I love all my friends in India and in the world. Thank you.
Thank you to you. We loved your poem as well, and we love you too, Isaac, very much.
Yes.
So
yes,
I hope we are going to actually meet as well, right? We were almost going to meet up. I hope that happens again next time, sometime soon. And
yes,
now, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, for your beautiful poem, absolutely beautiful. And now I'm going to call upon Finn Hall, very talented poet, a very senior poet, Sir Finn Hall from Scotland, to treat us with his poetry.
Hey, hello, happy Poetry Day to everyone. Thank you for giving me this invite amongst the people I know and many people I don't know. Hello, I'm going to do two pieces here that have been written back in August, not all that long ago. And they're kind of self-explanatory. The first one is just a poem about believing in yourself. And the second poem is a kind of political poem, which is kind of true for a lot of stuff throughout the world just now with our crap leaders that we have. So the first one's called Exhausted by Strength. Don't be afraid of anything. Try new things. I mean, I wouldn't stand on a thin ledge so high above the ground. Not afraid to do it. I just have no interest in doing it. Not afraid. I don't want to jump out of a plane using a parachute just because my dad did it. I'm not afraid, just not interested. But if there's something new to challenge me, something interesting, I would maybe try. But I have to be interested, not afraid. Being brave is not of interest. Being not afraid is the challenge. I mean, don't call me strong. That is so wrong. Don't call me brave either. I'm not strong. I'm just me, trying to be the best I can be, not striving for perfection or a reflection of what is expected of me. And if you don't like what you see, don't blame me. Blame your own hypocrisy. It can be tiring trying to live up to the expectations that you give, and I won't be so glib to go along with that. Instead, I will be not afraid. This one's called Girl Missing, and I wrote this quite recently for another open mic last September, a very political based one with Tim and Rhoda from Wales. It's called Girl Missing. I knew a girl. This girl I knew always looked up, never looked down. Kept her eye on the horizon, looking around. Plenty of injustices to be found. Took up a pen instead of a sword. Writing poetry is never absurd. Walked to the beach, walked along the shore, walked to the park, walked on some more. Walked with some friends, walked round a bend, walks into a roadblock set up by the cops. Trying to stop them walking, kettled them well. Then wondered why the girl started creating merry hell. All she wanted was to see justice for all. The right to be walking, the right to stay alive, the right for equality, the right to survive. The girl held a placard along with her friends. The law called them weapons, the right to apprehend. Scuffles then broke out as they tried to protest, putting the patient's right to the test. No stones were thrown, no one attacked, and yet the coppers kept pushing them back. Back, back, and backwards with nowhere to go. Brutal force used, extreme and unneeded, stumbling and falling, heads busting, bleeding, crying and shouting, "Leave us alone, fascists go home." Further and further they resist. Harder and harder we resist. Tumbling, stumbling, crumbling, pushing, pushing. Stop! If we ever get out of here, we'll come back stronger. Fight for longer. Fight, fight, fight. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for those two gorgeous poems. Absolutely gorgeous. The first one was just so nice, energizing, and setting us out for these great adventures. Thank you so much. The second one was also great. Thank you so very much. And now I'm going to call upon this poet friend from Australia, Mick Mezza. Are you around? Can you hear me? Would you like to unmute and treat us to a poem? I think. Hi. Okay, all right. So I think I'm going to, wow, I can see Sylvia. Hello, she's joining us from Singapore. Warm welcome to you. You made it. Wow. And it's 11, I think, at night, right? Warm welcome to you. So why don't you just go ahead and read your poem? I think that'll be wonderful. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you for inviting me to come to this event, and it's the first time I'm attending. I felt very honored. I'm reading a poem called Denial of God's Love. Looking through your heart, there is a denial of God's love. It's not worth crying for. I can't be your godma. I already got a godson. I can't spread my love for you. I know it's true, it's better to break your heart than never, so don't keep pestering me or I lose my cool and slam a closed door. This was written because somebody keep pestering me every night to be the godma. So it's a kind of very frustrating thing.
Wonderful, great, thank you. Thank you for that amazing poem, ma'am. Joining.
Okay, I'll read another one. Show your true color. Are your speech in line with who you really are? Do you light up a room in a party? Do you speak in depth with passion that radiates a charm in you? Do you speak in a new friend with warm like you have seen each other for years? Are you comfortable in your own skin and say your true feeling about friends? Do you show a sense of inner joy that others can tell? Search your heart. Do you relate true feelings about your friends? Your easygoing and sincere method will show when you speak the truth. Okay, that's all. So I look forward to see all of you again, and thanks for having me. I will stay for a little while and then I'll go to bed because I need to work.
Great, thank you. Very beautiful poem about honesty and pretensions. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for two lovely, beautiful poems. And wow, thank you, John. Thanks for that message. And now I think, is Mick Mezza able to hear me? But what happened to your light, my dear Sir Mick? Because you seem to be in total darkness. I mean, I am the one who's having a power outage again. I've been calling my power station to, you know, give us some electricity. I mean, in India, in small town India, it's very common to have, you know, huge power outages. But what has happened to you in Australia?
I don't know. I have a light over there. I had the other light on. I had both lights and the lighting was really bad. Is that better? Maybe some dust on there. I'm not sure. Can I go on with my poem?
Mm-hmm.
It's called Shattered Dreams. One is poetic license, and then we go to the facts. Okay. My love lives in the United States. Nonna told Nonna. Nonchalant, he sang a song in deep soprano tone. Did she love him till the day he died? No one knows. Shortly after they married, Grandpa left for the States, left her alone in the village with a baby to her tummy. The house, four-person tent. But that's the way it was then. She waited for the ticket to be reunited with her man, a future for his family which shone bright in him. At Ellis Island, the traffic signal shone red. Darkness with him, a beam through the clouds, he alighted in Havana. The future was cracked, adjusted and replanned. The dream had evaporated to the land of the free, kept alive by moving to an island territory. If I can't get it to America, then the Americas we come. At years his coach come too numb to write, but he sit in a bar on a hot, humid, tempestuous day, check out the broads, the musicians that play, playing cards, having a chat. Where did you work? Where would you look for a job? And what did you cook? How quickly did you learn Spanish? I never heard you speak. These questions birth in imaginings, wonder and seek. I shall, with my inquisitive mind, give me closure to follow your trail to answer all the above and below. Did you love? Did you find love? Did you have other children? Did you gamble at the casino? Did you meet Fidel as a kid? Did you go swimming at the beach? Did you party on the beach? Did you think of those back home or just a zombie stare? City living's pace where the gremlins asleep, or the nightmare of you being shell-shocked in the haunted dreams of a broken man? Did your lifestyle collapse when the government official came calling that your wife had set words up for him that you should return back to your family to cut wood, make charcoal and farm the land? Now your father's four, they have moved offshore from a man who travelled to the world and back again, to a woman who said that her heart was for the man in America, who dreamed of living a better life, not nonchalant. He sang a song in deep soprano tone. Did she love him till the day he died? No one knows. The timeline, these are the facts. The inquiry led to aunties who filled the gaps. Granddad was born on the farm next to Nonna's in 1916. You trained to be a hero. Transported to Veneto to fight against an empire, watching men die, shot, gas, scream the charge over the trenches. Seen your mates been eaten by mice, starved, your stomach in knots, watching carrion birds strip the soul heaven bound. And you never returned to a town with luggage you didn't take, made your way to Argentina, dodging the Spanish flu. Did you get kicked out or return willingly? Their nonna on the farm next to yours, which you didn't inherit. She was promised to another man in the States. When he returned, found her on the farm and said she married in 1922. He left, so did you in 1923 to the US, where you boarded a ship, expelled after a year, made your way to Cuba, worked for a company that advertised in the village for workers, you living with your demons and dreamtime explosions. Nonna supporting her child and fighting off your family, pinned to the ground, forcing her to sail. She battled on while you fought your hell. An ad placed in the Cuban newspaper of missing person made its way to you. You made your way back with the clothes on your back, skin and bones, repatriated by a government you fought for. In 1932, after a 9-year journey of world travel, you rested your soul and laid down your legacy, a World War I medal, Dad's enlistment in the Garibaldi regiment. You both married older women, left them for 8 years and returned. I was opposite. Mine younger and returned 10 times and left for good. The curse of the generations I break its chains. Like you, your children departed. However, you returned. They, not even for you or Nan's funeral. This timeline tells me your movements, not your thoughts, your actions honourable. In the end, you found love in your family again. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful poem. And Mr. Eddie Foreman, who had joined us, has, I think, left us, or is he still there? I would really like to call upon him to treat us to a poem at least. Is he around? And am I audible or am I really soft? Eddie, are you here? If he is not here, then I would love to call upon Mildred Par from Philippines. I think it's quite late in Philippines. Hello. And in China as well. Yes, hi, go ahead. A very gifted poet is joining us from Philippines.
Okay, so I will be reading. Am I audible already?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, good evening to everyone. Here it's already 12 midnight. So I'll be reading my poem, Colored Woman. I am a plain human person without a smile on my face, peerless as I am also silent. I got no dilemma of my own, though I feel deeply as I love. There seems nobody to care. I'm stoic, calloused, and stolid. I'm sorry, my husband is in the back. Anyway, just observing, listening. One day I wondered about human nature. Allow me to conjecture. I always feel so alone. One time, feeling blue, I painted my lips red and my eyes brown and blue. My cheeks dusted with rouge. Not enough, so I color my hair the blackest black, as of the loneliness of the night. Then they came, surprising me. Where did they come from? They seemed to like me. I realized they love me being colored, so fascinated of what I became. They started to express love, or was it desire? Or my friendship, seeking a kiss, an enamored attention, or excitement that transcends the border of my divination. I love the attention, the fanfare. I would not deny it changed me totally, from recluse to an exciting diva. But when I'm alone, I still question, could there be someone out there who will love me just by being me? I have so much to give of myself, nor would there be someone who will love me as I am. Moods, ambition, temperament, and all, without these colors and all. As I retire, I rest everything to God. Thank you, Lord, I have you. It's all that matters, I guess. But I do pray, Lord, for a person to be by my side at the end of the day, colored or not. I will give him all my heart. So that was the first. It's all about, being true to oneself and being myself. So I'm looking for somebody who will love me as I am, without pretenses, without all these things I put on myself. Then I will have another one here. Can I have another one?
Yes.
Because I prepared so many. Okay, wait. This one, thorny rose. Thorny rose. Flowers bloom not only on its own, but by love's constant care and attention. By watering it with tears or moments on the magnificent hands of God. Only this way can a rose bloom most beautifully. All its life is in dirt where it is planted, and together with it, thorns also thrive and grow. Shall we then stop caring for the rose? It's clear that duality in nature exists. As we love the rose, we should appreciate the thorns, since it's God's grandeur that speaks. It is a perfect creation. Let not man dare think otherwise, or else doubt life's design. Our lives, with all conflicts and struggles, unfold beautifully after having tested this infinite grandeur, intelligence of God, manifested in his design of a thorny rose. So there, very simple poetry. Like I've seen a rose and all the earth. That's it. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you all, and thank you, Mom. Mom. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you to you, Mildred Par. No, my name is Pankhuri. It doesn't begin with M, but never mind. Yes. I loved your first poem as well. I love the parts where, you're talking about painting the lips red and, the way a woman feels, right? The blues and everything. So that was also very beautiful about womanhood. And the second one, the thorny rose. Wow. So thank you for that. And now Mr. is back. He's going to join us from the United States. I think it's morning, and I think it's Thursday morning there, right, Eddie? So good morning to you. Warm welcome. A gifted poet. I'm finally meeting him on Zoom. So we had been trying since a while. So warm welcome to you, and waiting to hear you.
Thank you. Everyone was so fantastic and poetastic, so incredible. Thank you for everyone to be here. And time for me to get in gear. Hello, my name is Ed Poetastic. Hope everyone feeling fantastic. Please get in time so you can join my rhymes to go off with sublime. Okay, here's my poetic chime. This is called Bare Naked Truth. We're exposed poets. We stay naked every day. Oh, come on, you know what? One shades every single day. You know what? No denying it. Our emotional full display. You have to quickly admit we all write bare essays. Our words can really hit, flushing out the inner gray. Yes, we're naked. Don't quit. Shine your golden ray. I know if you feel so sick, show the world the way. Hope it can really click. Chip away you and others' clay. Keep crushing those bricks. Help all who are lost and astray. Perform those emotional tricks. Make the inner trauma delay. Give a backbone for those pricks. Make the thunderstorms decay. Change or form the skeptics. Acceptance. No more betrays. Support that man or chick, a shock of the cause or obey. Make your personality stick. Give advice in life disarrays. Remove those small annoying ticks. Bare naked insight you betray. You're naked. Everything will be okay. All right, I got another one. This is called, it's a little bit spicy, but this is called Pink Notes. In a world full of ecstasy, voices played. The passion never strayed. No hate, just free. Couldn't stop the music from playing, and only we listened to what we were saying. To reach our hearts, lost in a tantalizing world, grasping all our parts, lost in a passionate spiral that make us lovers. No debate, more reactions, left us warmer than colder, quiet sexual premonition. Loving you, my hottie, I dance beside your streets, body to body as our energy swayed to the beats. There's no need to worry about a single thing. There's no need to hurry. I want to hear you sing. Let me use my fingers further to play your pink strings. The tension is burning hotter. Watch how your eyes swing. As we lay wet and bare, adjusting my naked guitar, playing notes to share to your energy star. As my fingers move faster, trying to keep up with your tune. A hard but sexual song to master, but you howl at the milky moon. I played, played, and played. You shake, shake, and shake. You persuade, persuade, persuade. You ache, break, and quake. The pink lyrics float around in a steamy, feisty bedroom. We both made panting sounds while our loins go boom. Baby, do you want an encore? Is a song called You're Coming. Right, baby, more, more, and more. Let's fill jolts full of somethings to speed up our inner chorus. Can't leave you on a high note. The speedy fingers aren't done. Still more lyrics left I haven't wrote. Baby, the climactic concert has just begun. I played you throughout the night. It was fun stringing and tuning you. You sang with so much euphoria delights. Now it's time for us to drift off in the deep blue. Thank you.
Thank you to you for two very sensual, nautic poems. Spiced us up completely, spiced up the evening, right? Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you, and so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet
now
you too.
we are going to call. Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, so nice to meet you too, and thank you for being you and always pushing through. And keep doing everything you do. Remember, everyone, each and every one of us love and respect you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks so much. And now we are going to go over to China, where I'm thinking it's very late again, and call upon James Tian, again, a very gifted poet, to treat us to his poem.
Thank you, my dearest P, dearest sister Pankhuri, and thank you, Mr. Don, to make this wonderful meeting again, and invited me. And just so busy these days, but I was always focused on you all because just seems you all is my own family. Yes, and today my poem's name is Autumn Maybe Yummy. And it's autumn in China now, and the weather gets colder. So I just think it's very fit to read in this time. But what my warmth from my heart is always with you all. And now I'm reading. No cooler wind can mix the waves on my face. The mood just flowing in peace. Oh, you can see it. No cloudy days make the eyes like being picked. The time just flowing in peace, or you can feel it. Or autumn leaves, perhaps the spirits from God's dreams. Although it can make people meditate, still the good shadow of the tips. Autumn may be yummy. Taste it with your heart. You will enjoy it too, to a higher degree. Thank you very much, and the same blessings as usual. Love you, my dear sister Pankhuri. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, James, for this beautiful poem. And I have a surprise for you. I have already translated this poem in Hindi and it's going to be published soon. So that is a little surprise for you. Thank you. I loved this poem. I just love this. Even I love this season, though, you know, we are still in the middle of a flood. Oh my God. Yes. So
thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, all right. I think that somebody is joining us from Malaysia, and I'm guessing it's late for them as well. So I'll just ask them to read, and then we are going to go over to Sophia, and then again back to England. So Mr. Julian Matthews, warm welcome to you. Do you want to go ahead with your poem? And also please tell us what's the time there in Malaysia?
It's just past midnight.
Oh, wow, great.
Yeah. So this poem is called Eastern Mother. A friend posted an old photograph of her mom, and it reminded me of you. The ambiguity of a woman in Chinese features, in a sari and potu. Coincidentally, her mother was adopted, like you, at a young age. They say just before soldiers die in trenches in battlefields, they call out for their mothers. I'm neither a soldier nor in a battle for my life, at least not yet. But like a child again in these restless times, wrestling with the not knowing of how this is all going to end, I yearn for you. I think of the families of hundreds and thousands, maybe millions now, departed, and the millions battling to survive, some gasping for air in ventilators. And I wonder if they too are thinking of their mothers. I hear you tut-tutting and saying, Pavam Pillai, poor child, like when I fell sick or hurt myself and came back soaked in the pouring rain. And I think of those stranded with no one beside them, curled up on cardboard, on cold, hard floors, in fetal positions, longing for mothers long gone, who once fed them from tired breasts and cradled them to sleep on relentless hot nights like these, like you did for me. And I think of all the mothers worried about their children on medical front lines, trying to help others survive, and the children cut off from their own mothers, near or far, because of the lockdowns. And I think how fortunate the few of us are, the very few of us, who still have mothers alive and well and smiling, ever smiling. And I think of your smile now, Mom, an oft-repeated anecdote at a family gathering, your laughter loud and full, joyful tears that flowed after, just being you, the other, as I lie here and whine and ramble, entombed in this antiviral crucible, this chrysalis of isolation, this sealed dome, this unhatched egg, this pregnant pause, hoping to emerge again, alive, to come visit, outside your gate, call you by name, Mom, but you won't be there, and I will still be here, unrisen, without the sun of my Eastern mom. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you for that very touching, emotional, moving poem. What a beautiful tribute to mothers everywhere. Thank you so much. And I love the way you talk about the Eastern references and the dressing and everything. Thank you. And it was a beautiful poem. So thank you so much for that. And it was lovely to meet you, sir. And now before I go to, thank you. Before I go to Sophia and then again back to Wales, not England, I just want to ask Mr. Lawin, he's joining us from South Asia or from the United States someplace. And what time is it for you, sir?
Oh, it's midnight here in Manila, Philippines.
Oh, wow, wow. So, you know, I am going to take the liberty of asking you first again. And
oh, wow.
I was just wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
So please
thank
go
you.
ahead.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for posting the link. Thank you, Dawn. Hello, Prasanna, and happy birthday, Govinda Biswas. Okay.
From Manila.
Yes. Actually, Pankhuri, we've intersected in, I think, Unmesh's room before, but well, here's to a wonderful second time. Okay, so this is called Houston, Here's the Problem. I have nothing against rocket ships jetting off into space, hurtling into brand new horizons. Let's have a care, though, about who and what we leave behind. We cannot out the famine, the unemployment, literacy. We can't sail into present isn't pressing into us, making refugees of us in our own home, our own planet. I want a space program that gives space for more than one God, space for all brands of belief, space for bravery and relief, space enough for us to accept each other, space for playgrounds where fear isn't a standard feature, schoolrooms with more books and less bars, more keys and less locks. I look up at the one sky that doesn't seem to be the same sky, just as it is not the same sun that bears down on beggars and glints through air-conditioned limousine sunroof. Houston, the problem isn't out there. It's right here. Okay, so let me round that out. If that's a little outer space for everyone, let's bring it home to something more us. Now, one thing I've noticed about all of these Zoom rooms, right, is that it tends to be a tremendous collection of introverts, doesn't it? We use these spaces as, well, it's the place where we put on our little extrovert costume and get to talk to each other and get to know each other. Sometimes we make friends, but sometimes also some people walk into our lives and seem to make themselves too welcome. All right, so this is just my take on that, and it's called Hello, Tourist. You descend upon me, fiery, florid, feral. Come, pierce through this fevered haze, gaze at this ruin, this wreck of good intentions, half-built ambitions, splendorous abortions, self-loathing abomination. Touchdown, debris rises, cloud of ashes, recrimination, and impossible reclamation. But come, stake your claim if you must on this sprawl of endless hungry dust. Come, have your picture taken like too many others before you. You lay your fingers and opinions on me. In turn, furious clay resists, refuses to take shape, shifts, restless. You insist, persist. All that I am resists, because what if this is all I am really? Would you take that away from me? The shadows and cracks that upholster this landscape of self, the venom coursing through this volcano of veins, spouting sulfur through broken sutures. The only light here, dear, is the one purchased through this immolation of spontaneous combustion. The only light here, dear, is the radioactive half-life of all that I have laid waste to. Know that you are welcome, but know too that you have been warned. These are not temperate lands. These are not gentle hands. I thank you for your solicitude, for breaking this solitude, for the seedlings of salvation cast upon these hurricane winds. But please, please give the prayers a rest. Set aside the opium optimism for a harvest. Your whispered vespers of unrest. I am not looking for reparation or restitution, much less reconstituted absolution. All I could ask of heaven a few moments of respiration.
What happens there?
I think this poem was very beautiful. All I could ask for, signal just went away.
Oh, it's a pity. It was so fascinating.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
I have to ask. I think, sorry. I think my signal was bugging out. Does anyone want to see the stuff on the page? Or is everyone okay?
I think that's okay because we pretty much heard you. Maybe we missed out a line or so, but that was really great. I loved this poem addressing Houston. You have nothing against the space journeys, but there are things that we need to deal with here, right? And there's so many things that we have to deal with right here, you know, in life. That was wonderful. And thank you for the way in which you connected. I loved both poems. Thank you for those two strong parts.
Thank you very much.
So many things in life, right? So thank you. And now we are going to go over to Sofia, Bulgaria, and I am going to ask Sir Tom Phillips to treat us with his poem.
Hello. Thank you, Pankhuri. And hello to everyone who knows me and to everyone who doesn't know me. Because this is a kind of open call, as it were, I thought I'd read a poem which has a rather pretentious title in that it's called Divining the Perfection of Form. And I guess, like many people during this whole COVID experience, our kind of world has shrunk quite a lot. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, in terms of real life practical engagement. And I kind of realized that I was just going to our local corner shop here in Sofia every day, and that was my kind of engagement with the world. So I wrote this poem sort of imagining if Ezra Pound and W.H. Auden had come with me to go and buy a bottle of milk. So that's basically the gist of this poem, I guess. So it, as I say, it has this title, Divining the Perfection of Form. 40 years on, he concludes he grasps fundamentals of the art. Hurt into being, he rasps, then loses the thread, the trace of one true verse, sits like finch or falcon still inside his head. Time to make a start on the great work that sings of, why not, all things. Accumulation of vices to a not irredeemable limit. Forgive us our trespasses. Introit, beauty, perfection of form, voluptuous patina of color variations, her poise in scuffed pumps stacking a shelf. Taken wholly for a moment, he gawps, then adjusts his stance to one suggesting reverence, though alert to the chance the world has no need of his, of another portrait of a lady. Lament. Exile to convenient proximity might generate the necessary tristia, but who to issue the decree to send him packing a sailor's trunk for breezy seasons by the Black Sea? And how else to put himself in the picture? A risk here of playing a role, acquiring a reputation, fueling expectation, and making a fool of himself, or fall back on irony's defense, dug in behind him like a frontline trench. The artists of ambition and the artists of anxiety contend across a lone bar table, something bone-like in their hands, claws for applause or fisticuffs. I had a muse once, and a good muse she was. On what planet or star did they hear that? Which ship that slipped beneath the ice with all hands on board? Or was it him riffing at the piano like an old Greek chorus? He needs time, a different one, to invent what only remains to be reinvented, full steam back to pre-nostalgia. And what was he thinking? What might he think? Returning to the scene of an undisclosed, if even deserving the term, an unrepented crime, as we forgive them. The foot of a ladder is allegory enough, and he beneath and her above, ascendant, as if fleeing a fire of preposterous lust, feverish reverie of a stonemason in revealing what's left to be fixed attends him, and adheres to his afternoon as surely as dust motes spattering glass between himself and the sun. A little poetry allows him to accept the adequacy of his own confession, guardian of precedent, source of the assuaged ex nihilo. Though behind a veil, unsure, he'll find reality shaped to desire, a page grants desultory consolation. Repeated reappraisal of the apprised affords what? Well, he can't say. A headache, perhaps, or cause for further analysis, a new assault on the real. A collage of brand names, shelf construction techniques, geometry of ladder angles, fashions in footwear, muscular development between generations, her hair. Or here, a predictably belated attempt to start again with little more than acknowledgement of how she might see it. A man's upturned face mouthing questions on grocery products and their in-store location. Mistaking the eternal for the banal, the artist of ambition condemns the apparition, such trifles of the intellect. Language slides, one game slips into another. He feels the loss, but likes it no less than the artist of anxiety falling out through the door of the shop and staring at the sky where horse chestnut blossoms cascade and come to rest in no recognizable pattern. So yes, I think COVID has done some strange things to my head. And that was one of the poems that came out of it. Going to the shop with Auden and Pound. I think I should call it that. Thank you very much for listening anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing poem. We thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you so much. A beautiful one as always. And now I am going to, I said that I'm going to go to Wales, but I think Richard is going to be kind enough, patient enough, and just give me 2 more minutes. I think that I have a few friends from India, and it's getting a little late, so I'm going to call Prasanna ji. I mean, it's not late for me at all. This is my prime time. This is my prime working time. But Prasanna is, my brother is always in a hurry in the evenings. So I think I'm going to call upon him first, right? So a very gifted poet. I think we all are familiar with him. Nobody here needs an introduction. So over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this lovely evening, and thanks for the kind invite. I mean, what a great coincidence. I was messaging Lawin Bulatao sir that one would you could meet, but then it's a great coincidence today we could happen to meet. I love the union over here, the Mildred Par, Richard, Tom, Rajendra, Ojha ji, James, my brother, Eddie, and everyone out here, Dawn and everyone. My poem goes, Mick, sorry, Mick is there. My poem is about peace. Let us root for peace. I go searching for the silence in this mundane land, yet my phrasing always incomplete as the cries of distress falling into the ears. A heap of blonde and colors in action is what I find. He or she tries to have a piece of peace in this land of bombs, yet I find people scampering to save their blood oozing out as a result of bloody baths. Tombs of mass burial are what I found, waiting the flood of tears. I called and prayed for peace, went on seeking the calmness as the reign of uncertainty prevailed in nations. Wishing for cessation of bitterness, but devotional appeal is not plenty enough to reach the gods, it seems. Fell through as I put my application in supplication. Yes, united effort to tackle the crisis would be a breakthrough. Let us join to roar for peace with the spirit undivided. Thank you.
Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful poem on peace. And now I think I am going to go over to Wales and call upon Richard Temple to treat us to his poem. And after that, Govinda will. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed for inviting me. Are we just doing one poem?
You could do two if you're doing short ones, or one long one.
Okay, I will do two short ones in that case. Thank you. So I've been struggling to work out which I've read for this group before. I think you haven't heard these, I hope. So this is called Pacifism in Microcosm. As your boot connects, I reflect on all the ways you named me coward. As dark blood drips from ruptured lips, I recall the times you called me weak. As you grind my flesh to a gravelled mess, the crowd sneers at perceived fear. As you laugh at my destruction, I see only my reflection. You don't see the courage spent to take the beating. You don't see the strength it takes to stay my hand. You don't dare to face your fears, control your rage. You don't dare to see yourself and understand. At every wound that you inflict, my sympathy expands. At every falling blow, I know who controls what we call now. With every fading hope of glory, you're a bit part in my story. And to do a second one, this is called Stop It. No one likes war. Well, stop it then. No one likes poverty. Well, stop it then. No one likes bigotry. Well, stop it then. You're being stubbornly utopian. Yes, I am. That can't work in the real world. Why? Have you tried it? You don't have to do very much. Just stop doing the things you don't like. But people are selfish. Well, ignore them then. But people crave power. Well, don't give it to them. But people are violent. Well, restrain them then. They're above the law. Well, that's not law then. But they have money. What's that? Money is power. Why? Is it magic? Don't be ridiculous. It's economics. What's economics? The study of money. So how is that power? Money can do anything. Have a man killed, build a mansion, fly to the moon. Sounds like magic. Take this seriously. So money solves problems. Yes, but bad people have it. But that's a terrible idea. We need to redistribute. How will that help? Then the people will have it. What, the money? Money is the root of all evil. Well, stop it then. Thank you.
Wow, I just loved your both poems. Absolutely amazing and gorgeous. And I think that everybody did. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. The first one was a little confessional, but very conversational. And the second one was absolutely beautiful, gorgeous conversation style and so beautiful. So, you know, it was just, I don't even probably need to describe it so much. Thank you so much, Richard, for the two fantastic. Thank you. And now I'm going to call upon Govinda Viswas, and then I'm going to go to United States and call upon Paula Shene, ma'am. She's joining us actually for the first time. So it's a big pleasure for us. And I want to welcome you, extend warm welcome to you, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for your patience. And now to Govinda Viswas in Kolkata or near Kolkata. Right? Govinda ji, are you still here? He was here. Yes. What is wrong? What happened to your audio? Oh my goodness. Govinda ji, we can't, no, he's unmuted, but he doesn't have audio. We can't hear you. Okay, you know, you need to do something. You probably need to log out and log back in, if that is okay. Just Don, I think he can do that, right? If he goes out.
Govinda, I think it might be best to, in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a microphone down there, and there's an up arrow. Click on that and make sure that you've chosen the correct microphone. Fiddle around with it, and maybe we could come back to you.
Yes, yeah, I think that's a great idea. We'll come back to you. Just look for that. And in the meantime, we'll go to United States and ask Paula Shene, ma'am, to treat us to one of her poems or two of her poems if they are short ones. So nice to have you here, ma'am. Warm welcome to you. We all know her. She's a gifted poetess. I have also done an interview with her, and we talked about her many, many books. She lives in New York, one of my favorite places in this whole world. So warm welcome to you, ma'am. You need to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, this is the first time with the reading. I don't usually do this. I write better, and because I go out. I go up and I go out. My voice goes up and goes out. But I thought today, because it's the last day of my 75th year, I needed to step out of the boat and do this, because I got another open mic coming up in 2 days. So we're going to do Coat of Many Colors. It is the Hispanic month. This is the first year that our government has, when they did the census, decided to divide us up instead of we're all white or we're all black, and we have little categories. So I actually got this year to talk about the fact that I'm part Indian, not your Indian, Native American, but we were called Indians for so long. I just, I love it. And Hispanic, we've got Hispanic. So this is the Coat of Many Colors. And I wrote this poem for the month of the Hispanic celebration. Caucasian or white. Others refer the same. That's not entirely right. Ancestors believed in love at first sight, totally mixing the genes in a polyglot sprite. Oh, blissfully claiming different genes of hematite, 5+ made the DNA dominant a sidelight. Melanin burned out, a dusty brown. My skin was like yours. And now it's a chalk white. Another recessive gene making blue eyesight. Can you hear me? Yes? Good.
Yes, absolutely beautiful poem that was. Thank
Hello,
you.
Pankhuri ma'am.
I'm almost
there. Am I audible to you, Pankhuri ma'am?
They can be heard now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, Pankhuri ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now,
just once. Just. I think Paula ma'am wants to read another short poem, so we'll just finish that and then we'll come over to you. Just
poem.
1 minute.
I want to just finish this poem. One poem. Just finish the poem.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No longer to dwell in the glorious sunlight. I love the sunlight. Yet able to see in the black of a moonless night. Code me native or white or Hispanic birthright. Owning a slice given by God. Understood my fight. Love of his creatures, all from albino to ebonite. Only knowing through life. Does he want to talk? Is it fine if he wants to talk? Resting in our Lord's great gifts of life, all on alike. Okay, I wrote this on 9/15/2021, as I said, for the Hispanic month, which goes until October 15th. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for two very beautiful poems about race and genes and the making of our human personas and beings and minds and souls. Thank you so much. Beautiful language as well. Beautiful poems. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now over to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I will listen.
Now, Govind, can you hear us? Okay. I think that she's again gone somewhere. So why do we not I think we have, I'm going to call our friend, our great friend, John, in a minute, and we will also ask Tiziana ma'am to treat us to one more poem. And before that, there was somebody here who probably was sending some messages. Louisa, hello, do you want to read a poem?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Great, hi. Yes, I can. I think we are meeting for the first time, right?
I can hear it.
Wonderful. Do you want to read?
Oh, I'd love to read something.
And if great. If possible, can you just also, turn on your video if you wish. Otherwise, we'll just listen to you.
Here we are. Okay, I have to get the poem then.
All right, great. So why don't you get the poem and I will call upon Govinda Biswas, right? Govinda ji, are you here? Wonderful. So nice to see you, ma'am. Govinda ji, are you here?
Govinda is here. He just needs to unmute now. His microphone is working.
Yes, his microphone is working, but I don't see him. I just see the, the frame, but I don't see him. So if you found your poem, ma'am, then we will go ahead with you.
Okay, this is
of Africa. Stars in the black don't shine but spit.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but you were right. You know, you have a signal problem. So just turn off your video and then read the poem from the beginning because, you know, the signal is not allowing you to have both.
Pankhuri.
Yes.
Pankhuri, sorry. If we have 2 minutes more, because I only read the poem in Italian and now I found another with an English translation, so that
Yes.
my writings can be appreciated, because I love Italian language, but I'm aware that not all the people in the world can understand it.
Right, right. So we will come to you, ma'am, and we will really want to that. Just give me 1 minute.
Nothing urgent.
Great, thank you.
I can survive.
Can you hear me? Louisa, ma'am, can you unmute and read your poem? Just turn off your video and read the poem. I'm sorry, I just asked you to see, turn on your video, but can you just unmute yourself and read the poem? It was going very well, but the signal isn't allowing both. So can you just go ahead?
I think Louisa dropped out. She just dropped out of the meeting altogether.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope she'll come back. And now, if Govindaji is ready, we will ask him to read. And David has also joined us from Canada. Welcome to you, David Leo Serua. So
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Hi.
I won't be reading. I'm just listening for a few minutes.
No, you can go ahead and read your poem if you want to.
No, I cannot. I'm getting ready for work and something else. I'm just listening for a few minutes. So
Okay,
thank you.
great.
Shall I
Thank
try
you.
again?
Yes, please go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right, I'll try again. Fix your eyes on 1,000,000 stars in the black dome of sky. Stars that don't shine but spit hellfire. Look on the sweet earth, parting, exploding. Look, but don't walk on it. It may become your gravesite tonight. See the flowers, rose petals. Only the thorns are left. This is my song today. Think of those you love dearly. At 4 million. My name is Eritrea, Somalia, Tigray. I am Eritrean, though I was told by you were not told of this. The scars of many tears cover my face. My struggle and endless battle cry. Was my beauty the cause of this? Or buried treasures that lie within that attracted so many of them? Italians, Turks, Arabs, Greeks, too many to name have come and ravished me, taking so much greed. How I'd prefer to speak to you today of our customs and our dress. The Netsala women wear covers my head. The table we set is seated with 8. We share one plate. Our land is also shared, divided by lot. We are many people.
Beautiful poem. Oh, the signal again. Can you hear me, ma'am? I think that the signal is really not so good with her, and we are going to have to move on, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. I'm in Jamaica. We're not having such great signal right now.
Yes, but the poem was very beautiful. My name is Eritrea. That's
yes.
Very beautiful.
Good start.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And we hope to hear more from you. I hope that you will continue to join us. Thank you so much for joining today. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
And now thanks, ma'am. The pleasure is ours. And we are going to, for the third time, go to Kolkata and call upon Mr. Govinda Biswas to board the flight. Are you around? Okay. John, why don't you treat us to your poem? Govinda, has he logged out?
Okay.
Yes, great.
Yeah, I have two poems. They frame a book that I have coming out this winter, entitled. The book is entitled "When Danger is Past, Who Remembers," and published by Milk and Cake Press. And it just happens to have to do with the Nobel Prize, so that's why I'm reading it. 100 Years War, a thumbnail history. Early refrigerants were toxic and flammable. Fatal accidents were common. General Motors' Thomas Midgley patented the Freons in 1931. They were safer. 50 years later, atmospheric chemists showed that Freon leaking from 1 billion refrigerators was destroying the Earth's ozone layer. That could kill every living thing exposed to the sun. The worldwide phase out began in 1989 with ratification of the Montreal Protocol by every member of the UN, a historic first. The 1995 Nobel Prize in Chemistry went for work concerning the formation and decomposition of ozone. They were not the laureates, but the press release named Jim Anderson, Ralph Cicerone, and Rich Stolarski. They were at Space Research in the 70s when I was. I wrote to Ralph in 2010. The letter got lost in the mail. The Environmental Protection Agency ruled that Freon production cease by 2020. Refrigerator repair costs continue to rise. That's 100 Years War. And now, let's see here. I'm just scrolling down to find this. And this is, you know what, I'm going to share this. We could have been better. 1 in 1,000 Black men in America can expect to be killed by police. Edwards et al., Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, 2019. I drove to Goshen, one of those strange spring days. The air conditioner worked, sometimes just hot air, a bad compressor leaking Freon. Someone at work asked, "Isn't that an element?" Somebody else, "You could save the money till next spring." He buys organic, biodegradable trash bags, but no clue. Maybe when danger is past, even worldwide, no one knows. And me, I worked in rocket science, then half my life with neurosurgeons. And I know that banning Freon prevented pandemic skin cancer, got it fixed right away. I woke to the governor's stay-at-home order, drove the turnpike anyway. Each cop we passed, and there were many, I thought of my white Subaru and my skin, like 1,000 times before. I thought we still used the old stuff, regulated, captured, recycled. But no, the new stuff, no chlorine, no worries. Still, it is a greenhouse gas. The old stuff was too. Maybe that's a good thing though, a reminder we could do better sooner, even when we don't want to.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for two very beautiful, powerful poems. I love the way you talked about the Nobel Prize, the press release, and so on and so forth. And the second one, a very powerful piece of racism and so much more. Thank you so much, Don. And now we are going to call upon Tiziana ma'am again to treat us to another poem, and this time with an English translation. So that is special. So over to you, ma'am, again.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now? Okay. I only read the English translation. It's not long anyway. It's dedicated also to the to the trees in a town. A part is in Latin. My Latin is the names, the scientific names of the trees, so I can't translate in English. Bristling trees, indignant, struggling arborescence of urban clearings. Sycamore with feet in concrete. Mimosa yellow challenge miming summer suns in the ashen city morning. Edges hung with pigeons and greasy paper, willows slumped over doggy pastures. Oleanders with toxic greyish flowers. Offy oaks for victims of velocity. Chestnutless horse chestnuts. Here you stand, like tombstones on a dead planet. And yet, when at a crossroads, I touch your trunks, reeling off your ancient names. Platanus occidentalis, salix fragilis, betulla alnus, quercus petrea, larix dedicius, acer campestris. I find brought breath again, the pride of vegetable centuries, the irreducible lineage of wood, the diagrammatic Kabbalah of the tree of life, inhabited by Sephiroth and migratory birds. And in the maelstrom of city life, your leafy signposts are my rescue. Sorry for my English pronunciation. I'm really out of exercise.
Yes, beautifully read, a beautiful poem, beautifully read. We enjoyed it thoroughly. I loved all the descriptions and the imageries and everything. So thank you again, ma'am, so much. And is there anybody else who has not read and whom I have missed? Is Govinda with some otherwise, yes.
Louisa.
Right. I think there is somebody who has just joined. Hello, ma'am, Saroja Devi. Hi. Do you wish to read a poem? I don't think she can hear me. Govinda ji, is he here? Is he gone? Can somebody call him? Or because you know he had been waiting and then his audio didn't work and all of that. So I am kind of feeling a little bad about that. So. But anyways, there will be another time. I hope she will join us again. And in the meantime, even I want to read a poem. Right? So I think that she's not hearing us clearly. Ma'am, can you hear us? Saroja Devi? Okay,
her microphone,
if she wants to read, maybe later.
Her microphone is not connected.
Oh, okay, okay, great, wonderful. Maybe she just wants to hear, maybe she will read another time. I am actually meeting her for the first time, so great. So here is my poem, friends. I hope you like it, bear with me. It's a short one. It's called Happy Is, okay? I was actually going to translate a poem from Hindi, but you know how it is, right? So I just picked this one. It's called Happy Is. Happy is wine after poetry. Happy is wine after good poetry. Happy is wine after reading for hours, words of my choice, words that heal and bring comfort to all turmoil, mine and yours, and erase those situations where one is causing pain to another, like fugitives locked in boxes, like captives killing each other. Ease some tensions, not the commanding words. No, not the commanding words of the guards and the police. No army shouts words that would have somewhat more power than the prisoner's plea or the common man's talk, and yet words not borrowed from scriptures, but things like prayers written from the heart and all such expressions in the zone of art and poetry. And poetry, wine-colored, fluid, lucid, transparent, and opaque, apple-scented, peach-flavored, grape mashes, poetry. Happy is wine after poetry. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And again, poetry after wine. And again, wine after poetry and poetry after wine. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dear friends. So nice to meet up. Thank you all for coming. We had a beautiful evening to celebrate two things. I was, not even remembering that today was, so we had a double celebration and celebrating our own poetry. So triple celebration. Thank you so very much. And everybody have a nice night and see you all soon. Thanks. And
good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankhuri. Cheers.
Good night.
Good night. Yes. In Rome is quite night. Ciao. Ciao.